Hey, it's Rebecca Smith from the KBIA newsroom in Columbia, and it's time for Missouri Health Talks, a project where we listen in on Missourians' conversations about access to health care. This week we hear from Dr. Darrel Ray. He's the founder of Recovering from Religion, a nonprofit working with people experiencing religious trauma, and the founder of the Secular Therapy Project, which helps clients find therapists offering secular, science-based therapy. He spoke about how traumatic religious experiences can impact the limbic system, which is involved in behavioral and emotional responses. Here's Dr. Ray.
We've all heard the soldier that hits the floor the minute they hear a 4th of July firecracker. Well, that's probably a sign that they're hypervigilant and they're responding inappropriately to their environment. And we see this in religious people too. We see people who are indoctrinated with certain religious beliefs responding inappropriately to their environment. Now, they're not hitting the floor with a firecracker, but what they may be having is a panic attack at the thought of a demon or someone they talk to, they find out is not Christian, and they have a panic attack. I've seen this in people. Well, even though you've left the religion, you don't believe that anymore, doesn't mean your emotional system, your limbic system, wasn't trained that way. When we're very young, the children's limbic systems get programmed. Children get easily programmed for certain kinds of things. The child's brain has no way to determine the difference between be careful over there because they're lions that'll eat you versus be careful over here because they're demons that will infect you. And so by the time the child gets to be an adult and has the ability to create critical thinking skills, their limbic system, the system that responds to fight, flight, or freeze, is already programmed. And so there's certain cues that trigger, and the word trigger is intentional here, certain cues that trigger the person, just like that firecracker triggered the soldier. Hearing somebody sing a religious song about going to hell may trigger a panic attack about, I'm going to hell because I don't believe anymore. So there are huge consequences. What we don't see is psychologists have not taken this seriously. So many people come into psychologists with emotional problems, and the psychologist has been trained to avoid the religious beliefs. Because right now, the vast majority of psychologists have no training in this area, and they don't even acknowledge it's a problem. Trauma is a change in the brain or a programming of the limbic system and the fear response of the amygdala in our brain. We know what it looks like. We know what the symptoms are. And it is nothing to be ashamed of if you've experienced trauma based upon your religious upbringing. But it is something that can drive you to do things that are self-harmful. I mean, everything from substance abuse to suicide can come from religious trauma.
That was Dr. Darrel Ray speaking about religious trauma and the importance of recognizing its possible impact on the brain. That's it for this week's Missouri Health Talks, which was reported and produced by Abigail Ruman. Tune in next week for more conversations from throughout the state about health and access. I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for listening.